First at 4, history made inside a New York courtroom. We're going to take you to the Big Apple, where the first ever felony trial of a former U.S. president got underway today. General Motors on the move. We break down what we're hearing about the automaker's plans to move its headquarters out of the RenCen. And here's Will Jones.
The NFL is working to make sure the draft is an inclusive experience for all fans. The space is being built with Metro Detroit's Muslim population in mind.
And former meteorologist Kim Adams, crystal blue skies with temps in the 60s, even 70 degrees out in Howell. But we do have some rain that we're tracking. We'll talk about when coming up.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Karen Drew. It is major news that will change the landscape of downtown Detroit. General Motors plans to move out of its iconic Detroit headquarters at the Renaissance Center to a new downtown office tower. Rod Maloney has been making calls to learn more about the details of the deal. What can you tell us, Rod?
Well, I've got independent confirmation that all of this is going to be happening. I want to show you the new Hudson's building that as of last Friday, when we were working on the story, we're not sure who was going to move into the office tower. Well, now we know. And General Motors is going to be it. So let's go over a listing of some of the things that we've understood this afternoon. First of all, GM is not going to sell the RenCen to Dan Gilbert, which was the sort of knee-jerk reaction when they first announced this presser today. GM's going to move roughly 2,500 employees to the Hudson's Tower office complex. Right now, they have most of their crew up at the tech center. They moved the sales and marketing team up there, and they only have 2,500 or so employees downtown. Bedrock is going to help GM repurpose the RenCen. In other words, they're going to essentially take over the real estate portion of the RenCen, and the announcement's going to be at 4:30. So we're gathering over here. Behind me here, you can see people gathering to go in to the Hudson's Tower. It'll be my first chance to get in there and see it. But the announcement is expected to be here shortly. Mary Barra, Dan Gilbert, of course, are going to be talking to us. But let's go over this a little bit. The Hudson's Tower is like $1.5 billion, right? And so they've got a business block where they're going to put the GM people now, the GM staff, and that they're looking to essentially reinvigorate downtown in a different fashion. But in order to do that, General Motors has to vacate the RenCen, which they're probably happy to do. It's a massive building. They have only had a few people in it based on what they used to have back in 96 when they actually bought the place for $75 million. And so it kind of takes the pressure off of them from having empty office space, and maybe they can make a couple of bucks with the RenCen with the help of Dan Gilbert and Bedrock. Now, we talked to Jim Beery, who is a real estate analyst here in Detroit, longtime realtor, and he knows the market in this town very, very clearly. And so we asked him about Dan Gilbert taking on the RenCen, and this is what he had to say to us.
There's not a lot of people knocking on the door trying to get into big office buildings. So in this, he's done some things here that are interesting. He's kept General Motors, which is one of our best employers in the state, if not number one, kept them downtown, allowed them to downsize and right-size their office space, and I think began the process of redeveloping the Renaissance.
Now, what does the RenCen become? Well, that's the big question ahead. Essentially, whatever they can turn it into. Jim Beery believes that there could actually be like apartments and living space in there, much like what they're talking about here at the Hudson's Tower. So at 4:30, we get the actual announcement. Local 4 at 5 will bring you all the latest details, and we'll go back over it and then take a look at what's to come coming up on Local 4 News at 6. So for now, reporting live downtown, Rod Maloney, back to you.
Some interesting changes. All right, thanks, Rod. We'll check back with you. Our other top story today, after several failed attempts to delay, former President Donald Trump was in a courtroom today for a trial over falsifying business records. Now, the case is the first of Trump's 4 criminal cases to go to trial, and it could be the only one to do so before Election Day. Kimberly Gill has been tracking the developments for us. And Kim, jury selection has begun, but it is going to take a while.
Karen, good afternoon. Hundreds of New Yorkers reported for jury duty this morning, but picking the right jurors won't be easy or, as you said, quick. 12 men and women plus 6 alternates will ultimately decide Trump's fate. At the center of this case, his alleged affair with former adult film star Stormy Daniels and hush money payments to her. Jurors will have to answer a survey with more than 40 questions as both the prosecution and defense try to spot signs of bias. Both sides want to know where jurors get their news and if they ever worked for the Trump organization. They'll also be asked if they support or are members of the Proud Boys and other extremist groups. Legal experts say this trial won't play out like the others involving former President Trump, and it could force him to alter his campaign plans.
Unlike civil matters, Donald Trump wasn't required to be in court doing his civil trial having to deal with the New York Attorney General or the one with the sexual assault having to deal with E. Jean Carroll. But in a criminal trial, he is required to be present every day of the court proceedings. Supposedly, the schedule is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So he will have Wednesdays off and as well as the weekends off.
The trial is expected to take up to 2 months. Testimony is expected from several high-profile witnesses, including Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, and former White House staffers. But first, we, of course, need a jury. We'll have another update on the trial when you join us for Local 4 News at 5:30. But for now, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks, Kim.
Sure.
Got some new video released today showing last week's fatal officer-involved shooting incident in Warren. The body camera footage shows the moments leading up to the shooting, which unfolded after police responded to a domestic incident near the intersection of Garber Drive and Ryan Road. Now, in the video, you can see an 18-year-old man run and chase officers with a gun in his hand and then points the gun at officers, and that's when they open fire. Police say mental health may have played a factor.
They said that he had been up for 4 straight days, unable to sleep, going crazy, and assaulting family members. So there's one thing that we're looking at is a mental health crisis may be part of the issue here.
After being shot, the 18-year-old was rushed to the hospital but later died. Police say the gun he was holding was his and was purchased legally. Special election taking place tomorrow, and it is one of the most important in recent memory, and that's because it will decide the balance of power in the Michigan House. The election revolves around who will fill 2 vacant seats in Metro Detroit. In District 13, Democrat My Song faces Republican Ronald Singer. In District 25, Democrat Peter Herzberg faces Republican Josh Powell. Both of those seats were vacated after Kevin Coleman and Lori Stone became the mayors of Westland and Warren. Any voter registered in the 13th or 25th districts can participate. Polls close at 8 o'clock. That's tomorrow. Both directions of the Golden Gate Bridge shut down for hours today after activists protesting the war in Gaza shut it down. Demonstrators locked themselves together, blocking traffic, held up banners that said, "End the siege on Gaza now," and "Stop the world for Gaza." Law enforcement officials say several arrests have been made. As of right now, the bridge is back open and traffic is flowing. Back here in home, Detroit police officers halted a car rally supporting Palestine in its tracks as it went through Corktown. Sky 4 was overhead as officers blocked off that convoy. No word on if there were any arrests, but we'll definitely keep an eye out for you. Let's take a look at that forecast. It was a weekend filled with sun, Kim. The question is, can we expect more as we get into the work week? It's gorgeous so far today.
It really is. One more day with dry weather, and then it's back to a little bit more rain. 67 right now downtown, also at Metro, 64 in Monroe, upper 60s in Pontiac, 70 though in Howland, 72 in Jackson and Adrian. As warm as it is, it's still cooler than it was yesterday. We hit 80 degrees yesterday. It's now 21 degrees colder than it was yesterday in Grosse Ile, 15 degrees colder downtown, and 14 degrees colder in Mount Clemens, but it's still well above normal for this time of year. Now tomorrow, even cooler than today, but we still have plenty of sunshine to go around, which feels really nice, and our high reaches 74 degrees. So the weather story looking nice again tomorrow, but a rain chance for Wednesday and possibly even a few thunderstorms with gusty winds. We'll talk about that in the forecast.
All right, thanks, Kim. By the way, if you haven't filed your 2023 tax return with the IRS yet, you've got until midnight. If you're having some trouble, there are some options. You can file an IRS Form 4868 online to get an automatic 6-month filing extension. If you owe money, you still have to write a check or pay online today. Otherwise, you could face penalties and interest. Experts say using last year's taxes is a good guideline. If you're mailing a check, get it postmarked today. NFL has fans from all different backgrounds, and they are keeping that in mind for the draft festivities. For the first time ever at a draft, there will be prayer halls. Now, Will Jones spoke with the builder and the NFL about the purpose behind these prayer halls. He joins us now with what they're all about. Hi there, Will.
Hey, Karen, although these prayer halls are open to everyone, they're really targeting the area's Muslim population. There will be 2 prayer halls, one here near Campus Martius and the other one at Hart Plaza.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right?
Hussein Mokhal with the design and contracting company The Lead Lion says he's honored to be making history with this year's NFL draft.
To be able to contribute to the NFL draft and showcase vendors from the Middle Eastern and North African community, it means a lot to be able to tell the fan base, like, hey, we see you guys.
His company is responsible for constructing the 200-square-foot prayer halls for the NFL draft here in Detroit. They will be set up at Hart Plaza and Campus Martius. It will be the first time prayer halls will be part of the draft experience. Mokhal is partnering with Sweet Stories owner Amir Fatah on the design with the area's Muslim population in mind, but it's open to all faiths. What should people know if they're wanting to come and check it out, and how to be respectful?
So there are certain things that with a prayer hall and it being pertaining to the Muslim population, as soon as you enter, you want to take off your shoes.
The NFL says this is all part of the league's efforts to celebrate the diversity of the community.
It's really about inclusivity. We want to make sure that fans, or even people that don't know American football and are just getting introduced to it, that we have a place for them, and we host them and make them a fan of the NFL.
Representation matters. If you feel seen, if you feel heard, if you feel like there is somebody else that you can say, I connect, I felt that, I'm present. Through that, I think that's priceless.
It is priceless. Construction of the prayer halls will begin on April 23rd. It'll take about a day to put up, and keep in mind the draft gets underway on April 25th. There is the countdown clock
time
behind me. We're live near Campus Martius. Will Jones, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Will.